Hey everybody, it's Craig from the University of Applied Research and Development, and it is our honor to have with us Michelle Angelique Poitier from the United States of America, a cryptologist, an author, a speaker, and a real advocate for veterans as well. Michelle, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Craig. I'm honored to share the platform and share your space today.
Michelle, your history, your journey is very different than most people that we get to talk to. So, why don't you share a bit about your journey because it's so different and so divergent.
All right. So my journey to actually doing what I'm doing now, which is, I believe, what I've called to do. My life's work. It was it was a very interesting path. I'm a Navy. I'm the product of a Navy family. Both of my parents are both retired Navy, and I embarked upon that journey myself. For two reasons. One, first and foremost, I've always been a servant at heart. I love serving. I love inspiring. I love giving back to the community because I believe we are hardwired for that. We're hardwired for connection. We're hardwired for community. The root word of that is commune. And so I've always been hardwired for that. But I also joined the military because I wanted to reinvent myself. Wanted to separate myself from, unfortunately, an upbringing. A lot of individuals have some dysfunction growing up, but I lived in extreme dysfunction and encountered a lot of things that kind of changed the path, the trajectory of what I thought I was going to do with my life. And so, because I wanted to separate myself from that, joining the military was twofold for me: to serve and also to recreate and separate myself from that dysfunction.
So tell us about your time in the military, first of all, because you helped the Navy keep their secret you were telling me.
Exactly. So, both my parents being Navy veterans, of course, when I said I wanted to join the military, they called my bluff. They're like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, what do you suggest that I do?" And so they wanted me to join the elite of the elite in the military, so military intelligence. And because I scored high enough on the ASVAB, that's what I did. And I loved it because I'm very analytical. I love analyzing things. I love things that challenge my mind. And I love to solve problems. And so I was a code breaker, in layman's terms. I decrypted encrypted messages, decoded garbled messages, and helped to protect the military, and all those that serve. And that's about all that I can say about that, as far as what I did. But I enjoyed my time in the service. I enjoyed traveling, the country, visited France, Italy, Spain, Tunisia, Israel, so many areas that I probably, parts of the world that I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. And I enjoyed the camaraderie, the connection, the way that we supported one another, the way that we looked out for one another. So I enjoyed that about the military. And I enjoyed, just experiencing different cultures, experiencing the way that other people live, And so I loved everything that I did about the military. There were some parts that I didn't enjoy so much, but I used that as a catalyst of change, as a way to change and kind of propel me into what I'm doing now. So it helped me to find my passion. The pain that I endured helped me to find the passion, which pushed me into purpose, which now, gives me the power that I have to go back and help others find the same.
Michelle, when you speak about the pain, was that related to leaving the military or was that during the military?
It was actually a combination of actually before, during, and after leaving the military. So it was just a combination. I have a history of abuse. That's what I do, dealing with those that have encountered sexual or domestic abuse, or I have mental health challenges secondary to trauma. And so during my military career, even though I love the military, I was serving alongside a service member, but I was also sexually violated by that member. So it kind of, put a black mark on my idea of what the military was about. But I was able to work through that. And so now I advocate for other individuals that have encountered that during their service, male and female.
Do you think that because, you've mentioned about the camaraderie and the loyalty and the togetherness of being in the military, is the is the abuse even more powerful because this is what the military is meant to be, like a family?
When you say, is it more powerful, was it more impactful?
Yes.
Yes, it definitely impacted me in a way that it took a while for me to come back to the love that I had, where the military was concerned. Because, I trusted the military. I trusted you with with my service. I trusted you with, you helped mold and mold me into this leader that I am now in my community. And, but what it made me realize is that the military is made up of people. And, just as it happened in the military, it could have happened in any organization. But it also helped me to be aware that I needed to be a part of the solution, and I need to be a part of the voice that held people accountable for their actions, not just in the military, but because I found out in my advocating that my mother was also a retired Navy veteran. And in my advocating, she garnered the courage to speak about her experience. So it happened to her as well. And so I found that as I'm more vocal, others that I never would have realized, that I've come across that are very successful have encountered that as well, but they were too ashamed to come forward.
And my wife Lima writes about her experiences growing up as well in her book called Grace Brought Me Here. And she talks about valuing the power of your story and the sharing of the story. And just like your mother, have you found that other women have then gathered that courage to share their story with you as well?
Yes, all the time. Another facet of what I do, Michelle Speaks with a Z. If you hide it, you can't heal it is the tagline. We actually highlight individuals that have turned their tragedies into triumphs, have used their test, as their testimonies, or turned their messes into their messages. And they've harnessed the pain. They've harnessed the lessons that they learned in that pain. And they've now turned around and they go either volunteer or they're activists, or they've created their own ministries, organizations where they go back and help others in their community and within their sphere of influence, to know that even though this happened, it is not who you are. It is a moment in time, but it doesn't shape you. It doesn't mold you. You can still live an abundant life in spite of. And so everyone loves an underdog. Everyone loves to know that you've been through something, but you didn't allow it to conquer you. You conquered it. And so that is the thing that I focus on. And I love that. I'm going to look up that book, and if it's available on Amazon, I'm going to purchase it, because I love reading. I love being inspired by other individual stories that have overcome adversity.
It's a good segue. I'd love it, if possible, for you to hold up your book if you have one that you can share with us.
Well, this is one of the projects that I was a part of. This is not necessarily my book. I was a part of this project. It's called The Voices Behind Mental Illness, The Life of a Veteran Series 5. And my story and the stories of 10 other veterans who have encountered various atrocities, either in the military or post-military, and have mental health challenges. It's a story of overcoming. It's a story of what happened. It's a story of what helps, and it's a story of what we're doing now in spite of those challenges. My own story, very briefly, I had 5 failed suicide attempts, and 5 diagnoses, and when I was diagnosed with these things, and during my military career, I thought my life was over. I thought I was no longer viable. I thought I was no longer, of value. But in the course of that, it pushed me on the trajectory that I am now, which is giving others hope.
Often people can take a diagnosis or take what they see as a failure as the end point, rather than being a launching point. I think people can take the opportunity to learn from that. Often when you hit one of those bottom levels, you actually can take that next level. You can move to a next level, because what have you got to lose?
Nothing. Once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
And I was just reading through your profile on LinkedIn, Michelle. It's just so impressive. And I believe you've received an award and an acknowledgement from First Lady Michelle Obama.
Yes, I was actually nominated and selected to attend the former First Lady Obama's United States of Women's Initiative that was held in DC, Washington, DC, I believe in 2016. I had no idea, I was just working in the community. I had started a nonprofit, Healing Women, Healing Nations of Northeast Florida. And I was doing what I believe I was called to do, which is to help others heal. And because of the work that I've done, I've created empowerment events and workshops and support groups, and I was just doing the work and received this email that I had been nominated and selected to attend because of the work that I was doing in the community to help women heal. And so I was so honored to be a part of that movement. And it was so empowering and powerful to be in a room filled with so many phenomenal leaders, men and women. And that's where I learned, that Joe Biden was such an advocate for women that had been sexually violated, especially on, in college campuses. And so that was a big plus and an eye opener for me.
Well, congratulations. It's obviously well deserved, Michelle. You never know where these recordings or these videos end up, and there may be a man or a woman who hears this and they've been sexually abused in their past, either as a child or as an adult. And what would you say to them as something they need to hear? They've never told anyone before. They don't know how to deal with it. They're grappling with it. What would you say as a first step they can take?
Well, what I would say to the person that is struggling with whether or not to disclose or whether or not to continue to carry the secret is, first and foremost, to know that you're not alone and to know that it is not a weakness to share, but it is a strength. It takes great courage. And so I applaud you for taking the courage to make the decision to take care of yourself, part of self-care. And the first thing that I would tell you to do is what I share with my clients. It's called the ACE method. And the first step towards taking care of yourself is to accept what has happened, not accept and acknowledge, not saying that you are in agreement with what happened, not bemoaning how you got there, but just accepting that this is what happened. I can't change it. I can't, there was nothing that you did to cause it, and there was nothing that you could have done to prevent it. So acceptance is the first and foremost, the first thing. And then the second thing is to have compassion with yourself, because we are so quick to have compassion for others, but we are often so critical of ourselves. And what I mean by that is, what could I have done different? Should I have not have dressed this way? What did I do to attract it? You didn't do anything. So extend compassion to yourself. And then the next thing you can do is to educate yourself on what works best for you on your journey to healing, on the road to recovery, because everything does not work for everyone. So being able to educate yourself on what works best for you, because healing is a journey, it is not a destination.
Nice. So this is called ACEs, accept, compassion, educate. ACE.
ACE method, yes.
Wow. I think that whole compassion, forgiving yourself for any feelings of any blame or any wrongdoing or any responsibility for the situation is a very, very powerful thing to do, Michelle.
It is, and it's hard. It's easy. It's easier to forgive others than it is to forgive yourself.
Michelle, you get to lead other people and you get to lead yourself and you get to lead your organization. What would you say to someone who may have come from a challenging background and feels that, okay, it's time for me to lead myself and lead others? What are some of those keys that you use to lead yourself and use others? What are some principles that you have in place?
Well, some of the principles, first and foremost, is I have accountability partners. You have to surround yourself with people that will hold you accountable, not only to the things that you've said, but the things that they know that you're capable of doing. So accountability is so key. Accountability and community, because again, we were not created to live this life alone. We were created for connection. And so staying connected to a group, a community that challenges me, that empowers me, that encourages me, but also that holds me accountable. So that accountability piece is so key. Some of the other principles is I am faith-based, so everything that I do is founded upon that. So having a good relationship, spirituality, however you want to classify it, but having a relationship and using that time first thing in the morning to set my day in prayer and meditation. And then exercise, because exercise is so key to getting our endorphins moving, and, keeping our brains active. And then some of my other principles are eating healthy. I'm 50 years young, and a lot of people, still question me that I'm a mother and a grandmother, and people don't believe me. But it's because of my diet and my spirituality and discipline. Even if you're doing the thing that you love, there are going to be days that you don't feel like doing it. But discipline is the key. Having a routine and sustaining that routine. And so those are some of the principles by which how I lead myself.
That's really great. Can I pick up on accountability and community, having
Yes.
those accountability partners?
Yes.
Some people don't have in their sphere, in their community, in their relationships, people who are able to give them accountability in the way that they need to spot the things that they need to improve on in their own leadership. So how do you cultivate and develop that accountability if you're looking around you and you don't see that opportunity with the people?
Then you branch out. You seek out other opportunities to join other communities. And I know we're pretty much in a virtual world right now, but seek out opportunities for personal development and identifying what it is that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, then you're going to continue in it. So say you have a love of drawing or, being very artsy, then connect with someone in that community, go online and look to see what you have going on in that community where you can volunteer or see if they have groups. Like I'm a part of Toastmasters because I'm a speaker and I want to stay sharp with my skills. So I've joined the Toastmasters and they hold me accountable, because we meet regularly to sharpen our skills and to sharpen our natural talents. And so I would say that would be how you can find people keep you accountable. And then I do use personal development of my own. I read books like by John Maxwell, the 15 laws and valuable laws of growth. Find an author that you relate to or a mentor that you relate to and follow them. There's lots of inspirational podcasts that are out there, but you have to first know what it is that you want to do. And then you go after the things that will help you to be better, to hone your skills or hone your craft in whatever it is that you like to do. So that's how you find, ways to hold yourself accountable.
So what are you planning to do going forward in the next 12 months? What are some of your goals and intentions that you'd be willing to share with us?
So my intentions and my goals are, I'm a part of a virtual fitness community that helps hold me accountable as far as my physical fitness, because health is wealth. I've done several book projects that are waiting to be launched now. So I'm a part of that. I am launching a new program, Your Ideal Life Academy, and there's 4 pillars to that, and to continue to help women empower themselves to move beyond their adversities. And I'm always looking to collaborate and partner with organizations that are, looking for the things that I do. And so I'm just going to continue to focus on that. I have a podcast that I do twice a month on Thursdays to highlight individuals that are doing things in the community. So if you're tuning in and you're doing great things in your community and you would like to share and enlarge your platform, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to have you on to share about what you do. But my foundation is healing. If I had to say in one word, what am I? I am a healer. And so that's what I do, in all aspects of what I do under the Michelle Speaks platform, under the Healing Women, Healing Nations. And I love to empower others and connect with others and help them to achieve their goals. So that's what I've got on the horizon. Have a documentary coming out, From the Ashes, that talks about overcoming pain and using that pain to push you into power. But personally, I'm focused on healing completely so I can get back to climbing mountains. I climbed the Andes Mountain in Peru, Mariposa One at about 18,000 feet. And I'm definitely afraid of heights. And that's what started me on this journey, this paradigm shift to healing.
So you deliberately got on your schedule something that's going to scare you.
Yes. My goal is to do one thing daily that scares me. Those are part of my daily affirmations that I use in my group. I have an Empowered to Thrive Girls Night In group that I speak to once a week. We come together once a week for 2 hours and do different activities to help them to move beyond where they are to where they want to be.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Michelle, I've been making notes, and every time we run a class in the university, everyone knows they have to hold up their notebook so that we can see people are making notes, and I've got a
Right.
page full of notes
Oh my
um,
goodness.
while you've been speaking. So about the ACE concept: to accept, have compassion, and educate yourself, and then to grow your leadership, having accountability partners, and being in community, eating and staying healthy as well, and having discipline, working on your faith, and also making sure that you exercise and growing your leadership
Yes.
through your own personal development and engaging with other people and knowing your own passion. And I really love that. I think that's a lot of mini nuggets of wisdom, Michelle. Michelle, is there one thing that you'd like to say to people before we wrap it up to encourage them in their leadership, or something that you'd like them to engage with you on going forward, like your academy?
Right. So what I would like to say, I charge you, if you don't have one, I challenge you to encourage you to have a personal mission statement for your life, because we all need a vision by which guides us. So my personal mission statement for my life is: I am a woman of faith, living life audaciously in spite of, seeing the invisible, doing the impossible, and inspiring others to do the same. So I challenge you to create a life vision statement for yourself, because that will govern everything else that you do. And I also wanted to share that if you need help in that, I am a life recovery coach. And so if you would like to create your ideal life, then make sure that you reach out to me at michellespeakswithaz@gmail.com or linktree/Michelle Speaks with a Z, and begin your journey today. And what I want to leave you with that is this: on this road called life, we will encounter many things. There's ebbs and flows, there's peaks and valleys. But know this, that wherever you are on your journey, we all have our individual struggles. Just know that healing is a journey, it is not a destination, and that this is temporary and it will pass.
I love it. Michelle, thank you so much for your time. We're going to make sure that we have the link to your LinkedIn profile and any other links that you want to give us as well with this recording. It's been a real gem of a time. Thank you so much.
It's been my honor and my pleasure, Dr. Hansen. Take care, be well. God bless.